All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. MiG Frost versus Xenics Storm. Xenics will be playing in the blue at the bottom left of the map, and at the top right of the map in the red, we're going to have MiG Frost. And it looks as if MiG is just fanning out to cover their whole jungle to watch our locations, whereas Xenics is preparing for some invasion, and they're actually going straight up the top lane. And Kennen looks like he's going to actually come to his bush. Okay, never mind. I thought he was going to keep going. Yep. So they're all hiding in that bush, hoping someone will face check it, or someone will wander out there to check the river.
The problem with this idea from Xenics is that Gungwoo with Kennen, he's going to have a free shuriken that he can just throw out there and check the bush, as long as he's not being completely reckless.
Yeah.
So an interesting thing we see is that Horo has actually grabbed Flash on his Dr. Mundo. We've seen a lot of Smite Exhaust, because with Dr. Mundo you don't need to be quite as mobile, but he's choosing to have that Flash instead, so we'll see how that actually comes into play, possibly to try to get into the Cataclysm of Jarvan or away from it, depending on how the situation's working out. So you can not force the ultimate to be canceled as early as it needs to be.
Gonna be a little bit, oh, they're setting up there outside of it. The stun! They had a stun on Gungwoo! Oh, the flash goes off the lightning rush as well! Can he get away? No, the cleaver slows him down, and first blood is drawn by Xenics. Wow, that was actually really cool. That was so well done. Hiding in the blind spot so Kennen could not see them in that bush. That was beautifully executed.
Yeah.
Just blindly throwing that
really
stun
nice
in there.
positioning. That's going to make it a little bit more dangerous for anyone to sit in the tri-bush in the future whenever you're playing against Anivia. That long-range flash toss is just so versatile.
That was cool.
Showing the power of it already before the 2-minute mark. Unfortunately for Xenics, Leona actually got the kill. However, everyone on the team got an assist. It's not too bad. Still a little nice advantage for them to have going into the early lane phase.
Yep. And so Mundo's going to go. It looks like Mundo was like going back to his wolves when he's like, oh wait, it's already the 2-minute mark. I should just go straight to blue. Going to take that blue out pretty quickly here. And what is going on down here? I just realized Corki is top, and it's Leona Jarvan on bottom. We have a kill lane, ladies and gentlemen, being run by Xenics.
Yeah.
Look at this, even getting a vision ward so they can clear out the ward in that bush so that Leona or one or the other can continue to camp in that bush. This is really cool.
Yeah, because they were able to get that early, or Leona was able to get that early kill, that does give Corki a slight advantage in the top lane, so he'll be able to hold his own against Kennen for a little while. And then also having that extra vision ward and the sight wards is going to make it so that, what is going on?
We're having a little bit of a lag here with the observers. Yep, the observer is lagging out at the moment.
So we're going to try to cast from the big screen behind us. Just a little bit of normal laning going on. Just a little hard for us to see the minimap.
And we're back.
Okay, cool.
Sorry about that.
No, we're not.
Oh, we're not. No, we're not.
We do actually have a gank coming up here on top of Mumu. Oh, he misses his bandage toss, and Corki is able to Valkyrie away. A little unfortunate, but that's going to put a little bit of scare on him. They can play a little bit safer. Meanwhile, MiG Frost is actually pushed up on the bottom lane, and we are back into the game.
All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
I had to turn around. It was like being in the movie theater, being in the front row, looking up.
Feel like you're looking up the nose of the movie stars.
So I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but SBS did actually have to dodge away, so he used a couple of his abilities, but he still has really high mana.
Yeah, he still has his flash up too, actually.
In a really nice shape. He's also a level ahead of Kennen at the moment because of that early experience he got with the kill.
That was such a sweet kill. So anyway, so we do have in the bottom lane, it is just being played as kind of a bruiser lane. Leona is kind of playing the support role. She's not getting too many last hits, just a couple here and there, and is mostly being supportive for Mei, who is going to be going ahead and playing Jarvan as the carry. Very interesting though. This is kind of cool.
Yep, and because Lokodoko has Graves and he can stay mobile and away from both Mei and Impact, we see that Mad Life doesn't need to use help picks on Lokodoko to be able to save some of the damage. So she's actually been poking a lot against both Impact and Mei. but they're able to keep the regeneration up, so they're doing a nice job with that bruiser lane. Able to get a lot of CS as well, 23 to 26. Not too bad considering that Jarvan is a melee champion.
Yeah, well, with that assist, they were able to come to lane with a little bit extra money, an extra potion, basically. And this is going to be really cool. Basically, if Leona can land her Zenith Blade, which is her dash move that can bring her to an opponent, then Jarvan can also do the same thing with his standard. He can dash to an opponent too. So they have the ability to just basically jump on someone and do a ton of damage. Oh, they might be doing it right now. Is she going to land Zenith Blade? Nope. Loco quick draws away from that.
And Mad Life was able to use Glitter Lance and just keep them from getting within range. But this is going to be really interesting to see because we see a lot of the mana from, and they're actually going to go back. They realize that they're in a slightly dangerous position, needing to grab a Doran's Blade and some boots on Lulu so that she can get into the right position and out of wrong ones. But once Impact and Mei hit level 6, that's going to be a really, really scary combination.
Oh, yeah.
When they can chain all of their abilities to just keep the stuns going. If Loco gets stuck within the Cataclysm from Jarvan, Leona's just going to be able to drop on her Solar Flare and everything else to be able to keep him without doing any damage.
That will be a ridiculous chain there. Uh-oh, Mei actually taking a couple of hits from the tower there. Oh no, the Flash Frost goes down on Cloud Templar. The Crystallized Wall as well, the slow Cleaver in addition, but they're not quite going to get the kill. Oh, a lot of damage being done to the jungler there, but unsuccessful in killing him.
Yep. Mumu had to take the lane temporarily so that Rapid Star could go back and get his 2 Doran's rings.
And you know what's interesting? I think that would have been a kill if he had Exhaust instead of Flash there.
That's true.
So going for more of the sustainability, the ability to escape from battles or get into them a little bit faster instead of that Exhaust means that his ganks are not as strong. And we did see, by the way, Mei and Impact cleared out all the creeps, pushed them up on tower when they saw that Loco and Mad Life had left, and now they've come back to lane. Bought a few more items. Oh, look at that. Loco again, barely managing to dash away from the Zenith Blade. They're going in after him anyways, though. Are they going to be able to? Nope, not quite enough damage.
Yeah, nice job by Lulu to be able to make sure that she shields a lot of the damage on Loco, meanwhile throwing some Glitter Lances at Mei to keep him slowed down and put on some hurt as well. But Mei doing a decent job of grabbing some CS under the turret.
And it looked like they saw Mundo in the area, so they thought that he might be coming up to contest the blue buff. And so that's why we saw the bottom laners for MiG go up to that area, but then they realized there was nothing going on, so it's okay. Oh, the double ward in that bush. LOL.
Well, you want to make sure that the ward stays up as soon as it goes down, so just overlapping the timer a little bit is not too bad. You're only losing a few extra seconds for a guarantee that you can have the vision. Level disparity has been evened up by Gungwoo. Meanwhile, he is actually down by about 10 CS. So still a little bit behind Corki, but Corki grabbing that Tear of the Goddess is going to be an item that he's not going to get full advantage of right now. He's going to need to level that up before he can get his Mana Muna, and then he's going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage.
Oh, they get the stun on Loco. Oh no! Are they level 6? They're not level 6 yet, but Loco solo in health. Azubu coming in to save the day. Are they going to turn around and double kill? They might get Loco. Yes, they do! Oh my god! Mei and Impact somehow get out alive as well, despite having only about 300 hit points between the two of them total at the end of that. Loco looking not very pleased with that at all.
Such a beautiful play by Xenics.
Yeah, Impact and
SBS. SBS, he was able to jump on, use his Cataclysm as soon as he hit level 6, and then flash out of it, keeping everyone from MiG
the dragon
stuck.
is so low, but now so is Many Reason throws down the ult. He has his egg form, but Spirit Rushes looks like he's going to take out Horo, while Cloud Templar, the flash as well, gets him out of there. And are they going to be able to get the kill there? We did see an execution. The dragon killed Jarvan in the meantime. What? This game is crazy.
And Leona's still stuck behind enemy lines. Is she going to be caught, or are they just going to go for this dragon? We're going to have to see in a moment, but Rapid Star actually going for
it. To get a position and flash away. Oh my god, that was awesome.
Beautiful play by Xenics Storm with just using all of their abilities to the full potential. A little bit of a misjudgment by going for that early dragon. Because MiG is very low level, they were able to spawn very quickly and all converge on that dragon, making sure that they are actually the ones to secure it at 9 minutes 40 seconds. Very nice job by them to convert something that could have been really, really bad into a 1-for-1 after the first gank, the failed gank attempt, and then get that dragon after that.
Yep.
So nice contest on the first dragon.
Sorry for interrupting you earlier, by the way, but I got a little too excited. Leona's one of my mains, and sorry using your Zenith Blade to escape. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Not only do you help your position, but you also put a temporary stun on whoever you're jumping towards. So that prevented Ari from doing the little extra damage, and then Leona was able to flash away.
Yeah. And Gunwoong going in doing some damage to SBS. I was noticing, by the way, Gunwoong, he actually, it looks like what he's doing is when he's getting to the number, what is it, every fourth auto attack lands a Mark of the Storm, is that what it is? Yeah. When he gets to that point, he actually uses that auto attack on Corki instead of just last hitting with it. So that's just a little
use the rest of his
skill.
abilities to get the stun and then just throw on a little bit more auto attack damage before backing away completely safely. So Kennen, a little bit of more fragile champion early on, but able to put on so much hurt if you can avoid the attacks from your opponent and only engage when you get those stuns going on.
They have a ward there. Are they going to land any stuns, though? Nope. MiG knows what's going on. Xenics, reading that situation, says, all right, this is warded. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here. Horo going back to the jungle.
Yep. That's all he needs to do. Scared him a little bit. Got a bit better positioning for Mei and Impact.
Looks like we might see a gank on middle here. The egg is down for many reasons since it was used in the last fight, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, should be. It's a 4-minute cooldown, so if he gets killed, it's death. But looks like Wumu just goes back to the jungle after all.
Yeah, we actually see 2 Doran Blades on Kennen. He wanted to make sure he could get that early advantage with the damage to be able to get these last hits, also to push SBS out of the lane a little bit. But then he's starting to move towards the Hextech Revolver and most likely up to a Will of the Ancients after that. Having Lulu as the support champion, she's got really, really nice ratios for AP. So having the Will of the Ancients on your team is really good for your support in addition to having Ari get the extra benefit as well.
And it looks like they were going for a 3-on-1 gank there. Kenning coming down middle as well as Amumu, but the ward in the bush next to the river showed Anivia what was going on. She's just going to go back and get a ward instead. Anivia, interestingly, going with Boots of Swiftness to get extra speed and a Catalyst instead of starting off with a tier. So a little bit unusual, and when I say unusual, not in a bad way, just not what you usually see on Anivia.
Well, the Boots of Swiftness is almost a necessary item for Anivia. She's a very slow champion, and positioning on Anivia is always key. If you can get in the right spot to use your crystallized wall, that can just do wonders for your team without you actually needing to do any damage yourself. And then you're able to stay a lot more fragile. Grabbing that Catalyst is going to allow her to be a lot more sustainable within lane every single time she levels. She's going to get a lot of the health and mana back and just be able to keep going. Meanwhile, Rapid Star and both Many Reason are getting their blues once again. Pretty much the same timing. These teams have it down to a science, and no one's actually taking the risk to try to engage the enemy when they're going for that blue quite yet. But we might see something different later on. We'll have to see.
Yeah, very interesting. Down at the bottom lane, by the way, we have Jarvan at 101 creep score to Graves' 71. So, oh, hold that thought. A big battle going in. Rapid Star still has 1 Spirit Rush left, I think. Actually, I didn't catch the beginning of that. I was looking at the stats. Yep, there's 1 more Spirit Rush. Going to use it on some creeps. Many Reason out of mana actually is not quite going to have the mana to finish off of those creeps. Going to have to stay and get some auto attacks on them before probably going back.
Yep, but if Many Reason stays in the lane for a little while, he will get the mana to be able to continue pushing the creep waves as necessary. Meanwhile, Ari did go back, finished off that Hextech Revolver, grabbed 2 wards to make sure she stayed safe against Dr. Mundo's ganks, and then some potions to be able to stay in lane a little bit longer against the Catalyst of Anivia.
Gunwoong going in to try and stun SBS. The Valkyrie gets stunned out of the Valkyrie. The ult goes off. The Ignite. Is he going to be able to get away? Uses the flash. Oh, the last shuriken. What? What?
That was a beautiful shuriken dodge by SBS, but went back in for 1 more attack.
Loco Doco getting
the last auto attack to die.
Hit by a lot of people here, though, as well. Horo looked like he was going to go and try and go top. I kept saying what because Corki was gone. He was away, and then he walked back up to take 1 more shot and got within auto attack range of Kennen again to get that last hit. So I was a little bit surprised that he basically sacrificed himself. Ari Nope, was going to go down there, but decides everything's okay in bottom lane. Is just going to go ahead and go back to lane.
Yeah, and real nice job by Mad Life. Oh.
Wow.
A little bit of engagement in the middle. Nice job by Mad Life to be able to keep Lokodoko alive, showing the power of Lulu's ult. Not only did it give him the health to be able to stay almost all the health that he needed to be able to be alive after the fight, but it made sure that Xenics Storm could not dive him. If they did, they would have been stuck under the turret for way too long and would have taken a lot of damage.
Yep. Well, Corki does have that Manamune now up at the top lane, so he's going to be in good shape as far as damage. Despite that death, Kennen has actually gone from that Hextech Revolver, and whoa, a lot of people up here at top, they're going to try and turn it around. Cloud Templar looking to ult on all three of them. Oh, Xenics May, but he does manage to snare all three of them. May's going to go down very quickly. Is he going to die, though? No, he's actually not going to die. Is Impact going to die? It's very hard to kill Leona, especially when she has Flash. And here comes SDS coming in. Are they going to turn it around? The Solar Flare lands on Mad Life. The jump on with everything. May, oh, May uses his standard to get away. Impact's going to get away as well. Cloud Templar. Oh, it's ignited the Flash. Oh, and the finish off by many reasons. Oh my gosh, 3 kills. And again, Xenics getting away with 2 or 3 of their champions at a handful of hit points. That is just so painful for MiG to miss out on a few kills like that.
And Dragon is now up, so Xenics Storm could go for it right now. They are very hurt, so they might be making a similar mistake that they did last time, but they are going to go for it. Many reasons dropping the Glacial Storm, trying to keep, who is that? Gungung away using the Flash Rush to keep out. Oh, and beautiful Crystallize to keep out even further. A few shurikens going to go, but nice. It's not enough. They are able to grab the Dragon completely safely and able to get back to the turret. That last fight just showed how strong the Xenics team composition is.
Oh
Everyone was synergizing perfectly. MiG Frost had a good idea of trying to focus down May early on, keep the Jarvan scared to jump in with his ultimate, but as soon as SPS got there, they were able to jump on and take out the champions from MiG so quickly that they were able to keep May alive as well as everyone else. So really nice job. What was that, a 3 for 0?
3 for 0, yeah.
Oh,
that was so cool.
Dragon after taking the bottom turret. However, they are going to lose the mid turret because they did have to go back after that Dragon, allowing all the spawns from MiG Frost just to push up the mid real quickly. Good decision by MiG as well.
Such beautiful play, though, by Xenics. I mean, May, at just a sliver of health, ulting to capture one of them and then using his standard to get back out of his own ultimate, basically, to save himself so he didn't actually die there. I mean, just some actual genius moves. I mean, we're seeing some yellow programmer micro here being done by these Xenics players. Oh, and now they're camping this bush. They think that Ari's going to come for her blue.
And Ari using Charm just to check the bushes, make sure they don't go in anywhere completely blinds. But this is quite an interesting place for Xenics Storm to be sitting at this point.
And now, what are they doing? Okay, now they're kind of camping nearby their own blue buff.
Yep.
Oh, they're waiting for it to come up, right? This just came up just now. Now they're going for it, but the entire Xenics team is there. They know it, they're backing off. Oh no, Gunwoo gets caught. Rapid Star throwing in the Orb of Deception. Azubu running into the middle. Does he get his ult off? It looks like he did, but it didn't really have much effect. Slicing Maelstrom doing tons of damage. Is Lokodoko going to be able to get out alive? He is going to go back in. Can Impact get him? No. Is he going to get away? Lokodoko almost dead. Just barely flashes away from Eclipse before it killed him. Many reasons going to get killed off as well. Cannot escape from Rapid Star.
Yeah, this is going to be the first ace happening attempt. If they can grab Many Reason with one extra charm.
Oh wow,
but
is he going to get away?
Showing the power of the Boots of Swiftness.
Oh my god. He's going to get away. Lightning Rush, is he going to land it? Oh my god, almost landed that last shuriken.
And that's going to allow MiG to actually counter that and go for the blue of Xenics Storm, able to grab it really quickly. It was a really nice job actually by Mamumo. He didn't do a whole lot of damage with his ult, but he kept a lot of the champions of Xenics Storm out of the fight long enough that MiG Frost was able to focus down Horo and remove the tank from Xenics Storm, and then after that he's gone. It's really easy to pick off the rest of their champions. Really nice job for them. That's exactly what they needed to bring it back into the game. 26.8k gold for MiG Frost to 26.4. So very, very even with these guys. The blue from Xenics Storm was stolen, so for the next 3 minutes, that's actually going to be in favor of Xenics, or of MiG. But no, Xenics is actually going to go and steal the blue, getting it once again really even. However, it does get seen by this ward of MiG Frost, so they know exactly what happens. They got the timer on it as well.
I didn't realize that blue never actually got taken during that fight. That's interesting. Because
MiG Frost was trying to go for that ace and go and get many reason, which they very nearly did. They actually left their own blue up for a little too long and allowed it to be taken by Xenics Storm.
Wow, so back and forth. 27k and change for both teams right here. Very,
interesting
very cool
placement from that crystallized wall. If there's actually someone in the brush there, they would have been pushed outside the rush into the point where Anivia would have been able to see them and actually fight against them very easily. So many reasons just showing he knows all the intricacies of this champion. That's the scary thing about giving someone the champion they're so comfortable with. But Gungwoo also extremely good with Kennen, able to push this top lane before he's going to most likely meet up in middle, but there is a ward there to see if he does actually transition.
165 to 165 as far as the creep score in the top lane. So even.
Yeah, all these lanes are relatively even. Ahri up by 10, but Anivia's got a little bit more time that she's been spending trying to support her team. Not as many kills, but she's been extremely impactful on the fights that have been going on.
I would say that Xenics has had an impact in the fights as well. Ha!
Of course. It is a mad life here for Korean League of Legends.
That's right. SBS is, I think, a Korean television company or something
not
like
as good
that.
as OGN. So we see Impact has finally grabbed an Oracle, so they're going to be able to clear a lot of the wards. It looks like they're getting ready to be in a position to grab Baron if they do get some sort of advantage. But the thing is, Xenics has been making some poor decisions on when to go for these extra objectives. They think they have an advantage and they go for it, but they don't time things perfectly yet, and that's cost them a few extra deaths that they don't really want at this point. Well, I guess you never want deaths, but...
Sometimes you might want deaths, who knows? if it'll earn you an objective sometimes.
If you're trying to use revive and get that extra
That's
health.
right. Zombie Karthus doesn't mind dying.
Yep.
So Xenics is pushing up the middle here. And it's not going to be easy for them to get onto that tower to do any damage to it. MiG clear out creeps very, very quickly.
Yeah, this Manamune and Korki is going to be really good for Xenics because he's just going to be able to constantly spam his abilities. He's not really going to run out of mana anytime soon. So that's going to allow them to have a really strong poke once they start sieging any turrets, which we see happening very soon. Dragon is now up, so we see MiG Frost going into position. They're going to be able to start this early if they see that they have a slight advantage, but it's a little bit of a dangerous thing to do. Oh, Cloud Templar flashing in, trying to get the bandage toss, but he misses, wasting his summoner spell. And actually takes an extra briefcase to the face.
Oh, there's the Solar Flare. Doesn't get a stun off. Only a slow. Cloud Templar runs in the middle. Uses his ultimate. Ravistar forced to run away from the fight with his ultimate. Is he going to get back in? He is going to take out Horo. Impact is so low. Running for dear life. Loco Doco giving chase. Can SBS and Many Reason get any kills? No. Many Reason is barely going to flash away for the moment. Probably going to die eventually since they are in enemy territory right now. It looks like this is going to be an ace. They're just tracking him down. Many Reason going around is going to get caught by Gunwoong as well. But he's going to get Loco Doco. Nicely done before dying after the egg form. So it ends up being a 5 for 2. And that means MiG is going to get the Dragon as well. Nicely played by MiG.
Yeah, that was a beautiful team fight by MiG Frost. They were able to bait with the Dragon without actually starting it. Xenics Storm thought they had the advantage and they went in on it, used a lot of their abilities, but they weren't actually able to get as much damage as they would have liked, and they did get routed quite nicely by MiG Frost. Yep. A very nice play by Many Reason though. He knew he wasn't, well, I guess he has a chance of surviving because he's always Many Reason. but he didn't have a likely chance of surviving. But the thing is that moving into the enemy territory is buying time for your team. If they died, if both Horo and Many Reason died immediately there, that would have allowed MiG Frost to go and take Baron at that time. But because they took long enough and the rest of Xenics Storm was able to spawn, it allowed it so that MiG Frost was only able to take Dragon before they had to move back to their lanes.
Yep. Looks like Anivia setting up to get her brand new blue that just came back up.
Yep.
And yeah, you're exactly right. Sometimes when you know you're dead, you just got to stall for time in the long run. So we have clearing up some more creeps here as well. Top.
Yeah, we actually see Graves is falling a little bit behind in the CS. Locodoco is not doing too well in the kill department either. So what we see on May is he's actually going for that Maw of Malmortius. A really, really good item to have against a lot of enemy AP damage dealers, which we see out of Kennen and Ahri. And both Lulu is actually doing quite a big contribution to these team fights, throwing those glitter lances where she needs to, and keeping her team alive.
Trying to catch Cloud Templar out there. And it looks like Xenics, the whole team is going to just take this middle turret, as MiG was not quite organized in the middle to defend that.
Yep, they saw that both Locodoco and Gunwung were at the top lane, so they realized they could push in 5v3 and definitely take out a turret before they were able to recall back and then come to the defense.
Well, the global gold is pretty much even here, just separated by, well, I guess 2,500 gold here in favor of MiG. As they do have basically it's those extra few kills that they've gotten and an extra dragon or two. Yeah,
those two past team fights going in MiG's favors, making them very confident. They're starting to get their complete war coverage up Baron.
Oh, Many Reasons walks right into the whole enemy team and pumps immediately. The Azubu holds them in place as well. It looks like they're just going to get those 2 kills, catching Leona off guard as well as she tried to kill off the ward. And they say, all right, 2 champions are down. Let's get Baron. There's nothing they can do to stop us. It looks like the rest of Xenics is going to try and contest this, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything about it. They do have Mundo up. He does have Flash because he didn't take... Is his smite up? Yes, his Flash and his smite are up. He might try and steal it here. They're getting vision for him, but it looks like they're just... Oh, no! He goes in trying to go for some kills now after all, but instead he's just going to pop and die and lose any chance of the Baron steal. That was not the best engagement. Looks like Cloud Templar barely survives, almost got executed there.
Yeah, really nice job by Lulu to keep him alive exactly when he needed to. They actually baited him in almost by having it so that Amumu was really low on life. Horo jumped in to go for the kill instead of waiting for the Baron steal. But then Wild Growth went off and just kept him in a very safe position. So really nice job by MiG Frost. A lot of missteps there from Xenics Storm is going to give the first Baron to MiG, as well as a lot more confidence to do exactly what they want to do in this game.
Yeah, stretching that 3K lead to a 6K lead in gold now, and with those kills in addition. I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest, that Xenics engaged on that 3v5, even though there was a couple champions that were low on health that they wanted to try and finish off. They're like, all right, well, Baron has lowered these guys' health, so let's see if we can polish them off. Well, turn out in their favor.
The thing is, if they could take out a Mumu, then that also takes out the smite from MiG Frost, so it allows any champion to use their burst and just possibly get lucky. But
then if they
not
have
necessarily the right decision.
If they have Mundo on the other side of the wall and the Mumu is gone, then he's definitely going to get the steal, basically.
Yep. So that forces MiG Frost to go away.
True. Very good point. Both teams have all 5 champions up now, and MiG are starting to push some of these lanes, trying to take the enemy jungle.
Yeah, they want to make sure they get the timers on all the jungles, and because they have the Baron buff, they are able to win any sort of open ground 5v5. They've been winning even without that Baron buff, so it's just a little bonus for them to have. Xenics really needs to make sure they get good positioning in this next fight, or they're going to be falling further and further behind. What was completely even is now a 7K gold advantage for MiG Frost, as well as control the map for the next 3.5 minutes. 2.5 at this point.
Yeah. All right, well, MiG looking to press their advantage, trying to get some damage on the mid turret here, but they've basically got a split push going on here, which is interesting because, well, Gunwung, Kennen is a very fast champion, but he doesn't actually have any kind of teleport ability.
Well, the main thing is that MiG doesn't really have any sort of poke going on, so Xenics Storm, even though they don't have the buff, are able to push away the MiG, so they're able to counter siege very nicely, meaning that MiG Frost needs to do this.
Oh, the charm goes off on impact. Oh, is he going to die immediately? Not quite, not quite.
He's got to be a little bit more careful at staying away from that in the future, but MiG is just trying to keep them distracted long enough for Gunwoong to be able to push in here, already taking down 2 turrets.
They're just going to
before meeting up with the rest of the team.
Sorry about that. They're just going to give up their outer turrets. Corki not making too much of a fight against Cannon down there, and they just decide, okay, well, we've got Ari behind that bush, ready to throw stuff on us. Let's just go ahead and back off.
Yep. And they're able to grab the blue once again from Xenics Storm.
Dragon is back up. They could go ahead and take Dragon as well if they wanted to, but yeah, they only have another few seconds left on Baron buff, I believe. Maybe it's another minute.
Another minute.
I'm sorry, another minute.
But Ken is actually able to solo Dragon at the moment, while the rest of MiG Frost pushes top lane. If Xenics Storm were to contest this Dragon from Kennen, then it would be a free tower or 2 from Xenics Storm, and that's why Kennen feels so comfortable in grabbing this on his own.
Well, this is why I'm a little bit puzzled by this. I mean, Gunwoong doing this kind of splitting thing, because it leaves them open to a possible 4v5 if Xenix is able to engage on the rest of the team.
It's very hard for Xenix to engage unless Many Reason gets off a really nice Crystallize. Pulling off the champions from MiG is going to be very difficult when they have Lulu. Lokodoko is able to dash away.
Yeah, no, it's relatively safe. It's just setting up for possibly interesting situations.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Xenix has to just kind of play defensively right now regardless, since they do have the Baron buff and they do have the general disadvantage.
Yep, but now that it's off, it is going to be something that Xenics Storm can contest on their own red buff to make sure that MiG doesn't have all 4 buffs of the map. But we will see what happens with that in the next minute.
Never mind, I said what because I thought I saw something and I was like, wait, that's not the item I thought it was. It's okay. Anivia is building a Lich Bane, not a Manamune or Manamune.
Could be fun.
They're both blue swords, sorry. Or the Sheen, rather, is a blue sword. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, MiG just kind of having their way with the jungle of Xenix right now.
Yeah, Xenix sees a number of the champions in their own jungle, so they're not actually going to contest this red, even though Kennen was up top. Being very, very afraid of the MiG Frost team, even when it is a 5v4 situation like you were talking about.
And Baron buff is worn off as well. And I mean, it's just Cloud Templar's ult. You know, Amumu, he is not... Oh, Many Reason gets charmed, but got the crystallized wall off beforehand. In any case, what I was going to say is Amumu is considered not to be as strong in the early game, and that's why he maybe hasn't been played as much. But that ultimate, that ult is so strong in a team fight, especially if you can snare a few of the enemy team, that it's very, very, very potent. It's
proving to be extremely instrumental in a lot of these team fights, just splitting up the Xenix team. The bruisers that run in to try to go to the back line of MiG Frost get completely cut off, and then they're actually getting focused down a lot faster than normally would be if the entire 5v5 team was actually fighting all at once. It's a great job by Cloud Templar to use the full potential of Amumu and the rest of the team to be fighting along with it.
Gunwoong is just continuing to push all these towers. Now he's pushing top. I think he's killed 3 or 4 towers on a Dragon single-handedly right now in the last several minutes while his team has just kind of roamed around. And they have gone back to buy, by the way. Baron is going to be up in another minute, so they're just letting Gunwoong do his thing while they go back and pick up more items, make sure they're full on mana and health before a possible fight at Baron, which could be happening very soon.
Yep. About 45 seconds left before the next Baron comes up. So really MiG is just trying to push up all the different lanes, keep the pressure on. If they keep Xenix Storm in the base just a little longer than they need to be, then they're going to be able to take down Baron very quickly. Once you get up to the 35-minute mark, it only takes a few seconds to actually take down the Baron. So it's something that Xenix Storm needs to react to perfectly if they want to defend against it. So now that it's up, MiG Frost is actually just positioning to be able to fight if Xenix Storm comes towards them. They don't want to go for it quite yet.
Yep, this is where we see the ward clearing game where both teams just trying to wander around and get rid of Vision. Cloud Templar flashes in, gets hit by the Flash Frost instead. What we tried to do for the Flash Bandage to try and stun the ult him, but now it's turning around. Leona jumping in, but there's the ult on 3 or 4 of MiG. So much damage being done. Can they kill Many Reason? Many Reason does go down. SBS forced to Valkyrie away, forced to probably use his flash in a second as well. No, he gets charged before he can flash. And oh my gosh, Mundo is the only one that escapes.
Yeah, that's going to be a very game-changing mistake there for Xenics Storm. Cloud Templar missed his first bandage toss after he flashed, which was kind of unfortunate for him. But then the thing is that all of Xenics Storm moved in to allow him to just bandage toss again and then use his ultimate. So while he made a mistake, Xenics Storm didn't capitalize on it and actually kind of threw it back and gave him a little gift to be able to go a little bit more, and it looks like we're experiencing some
Another bit of lag, but just so you guys know, MiG is pushing down the middle lane. They're going to get the middle inhibitor turret. They're going for the middle inhibitor right now as well. Okay, we have returned to the normal vision. Apologies for that. A little moment of lag. They're probably going to get a second inhibitor out of this as minions are conveniently arriving just now at the top tower.
Another thing that I really like about MiG Frost is that Mad Life, once the fight has happened for like a little while, once it's starting to get settled, Mad Life is the one that chases down everyone. Using the Glitter Lance from Lulu, she's able to keep the slow on long enough until one of the more damage-dealing champions from her team is able to catch up and actually pick off the final remaining champion. So really nice job for all of MiG Frost to pretty much know their jobs and go and do them pretty much perfectly.
Well, MiG has a definite advantage here. 15,000 gold lead. Xenics is starting to be up against the ropes. They've only lost the one inhibitor, but they have lost their other inhibitor tower. So basically, if they lose a team fight, they're going to have 2 inhibitors down at any point in time. And it's quickly gotten out of control here. MiG at one point was just up 11 kills to 8. I mean, at one point it was 6 to 6, and now they're up 19 kills to 8. So they're starting to get pretty far ahead.
Yep.
Uh-oh, Horo. No, not quite going to get caught.
Another thing I find interesting about the Xenics Storm build is that Mei with Jarvan, he's actually going for more of an assassin type. He keeps jumping into the back lines of MiG Frost to try to take out a lot of the champions, but his build is not very tanky. So we see him going down as one of the first deaths in these fights, pretty much every single recent team fight. And that's mainly because he does not have the sustain.
Azubu misses his bandage, but just runs in the middle of them. Graves ult doing a ton of damage. Mei suicides himself on Loco Doco. Horo looks like he's going to go down. Oh my gosh, everyone getting routed. MiG doesn't even have a champion below half health right now. And they're just going to sweep this in. This may be a win here. All 5 up for MiG, the last defense of Xenics. They've only got 2 champs alive right now. They are not going to be able to defend. And MiG Frost is even going to get SBS as the rest of their heroes take out the Nexus. GG, MiG.
Beautiful play by MiG Frost after the first 10 minutes or so. Xenics Storm was doing such a nice job with their
they were doing really well,
3v3 and 4v4 engagements. All of them using their ultimate abilities in the exact timing they needed to get the maximum effect. But the thing is, once they got to those 5